Okay, so according to thebetterup.com, in 2020, women were earning 84% of what men were for the same job. You might be wondering, why is that? So social norms, stereotypes, and sexism still exist in these male-dominated workplaces. Because of the lack of equal opportunity, we more commonly see males in these leadership positions. And as we can see, the problem is that there needs to be more gender inclusion in the workplace and more female representation in these leadership positions. So now that we covered the basics, let's talk about why this is relevant. So having a lack of gender inclusion can really limit the growth of the company, and the female turnover rate will also be higher because of this lack of representation. It is important that every gender gets these equal opportunities because males and females bring different perspectives and ideas to the table, and which can be very valuable in growing a company. All right, so what exactly are these problems? So there's a pretty large pay gap between genders, like I said before. According to Pew Research, the pay gap still exists because women are getting more representation in the lower paying occupations rather than the leadership positions. And also the female turnover rate is higher because of this lack of representation and equality in the workplace. This lack of representation kind of stems from the fact that 35% of women in the U.S. have experienced sexual harassment in the workplace. This is a big factor in women becoming leaders because they might not even want to become leaders because women being in positions of power can lead to harassment, sexism, misogyny, all those type of things. And also, we live in a patriarchal society, so women might not even feel like they can become leaders in the workplace. This is a chart that really shows that. It shows that at the entry-level jobs, it's pretty equal in terms of percentage of women and men, the ratio. But as we get higher, it's almost 75% of men are in those leadership positions. So that just is a visual that shows how there's more representation for men in positions of power than women. So the proof for this is that according to Forbes, global markets that have female CEOs or CFOs actually produced higher stock prices and more profit for the company. This shows that although women tend to lead with more empathy, it can lead to success and can help the company grow in a positive way. All right, so now that we've talked about the proof, let's talk about some counter arguments. So some might argue that there is gender equality and there isn't a problem in the workplace and men and women are being treated equal. As you can see, that is not the case, and this graphic kind of shows that. It's just a few examples how women and men are treated differently. So if we look at, we're treated as if they were not competent. 6 men said that they experienced that, and 23 women said that they experienced that. So it just kind of shows that there is a difference in the way that they are being treated, and that there isn't much inclusion and equality in the workplace currently. All right, so now that we've talked about the counter-arguments, let's talk about some solutions and some steps. So obviously, a big solution is to set up that equal pay for all genders. That is like the biggest way to make sure that there is inclusion in the workplace. Another way is to create mentorships and training opportunities to help these women become leaders, because right now there might not be a lot of opportunities for women to become leaders. And also just to promote general inclusion among all assets of the company. So some steps that we can take with that is just to have workshops sprinkled in throughout the year to really talk about gender equality, because it's really important to educate people on that. A lot of times actually, it happens where people just aren't educated on the topic, and so they don't know about what's going on in the company. So it's really important to educate and have these workshops to spread the knowledge. And also something that we can do personally is just, if you see something, say something. If you hear someone at work gossiping or making a sexist comment, you can say something and easily educate that person, and that'll just helps with a direct source of making sure that there is, equality in the workplace. So for visualization, we we can think about if companies adopted these methods and these steps, it would make a better environment for everyone. It would boost the morale of the employees, and people would just feel more comfortable working at this company. You know, women feel like they have more representation in these leadership roles, and it would just increase productivity because it would feel like a tighter knit community, and it would just, overall, the environment would just be more positive. And on the opposite end of that, if companies don't follow these steps, you know, it just eliminates any opportunity that women can bring to the table, and it just eliminates the growth that a company can achieve without women in leadership. So if companies follow these steps, we can turn that 84% into 100%.